All right, Brian,
What's up, man?
you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hello from UW Sports Ministry here in beautiful Colorado Springs. It actually is beautiful here today. It's like
is nice.
60-something degrees. So enough of all you people who think that we live out here in the frozen tundra. You guys all need to come out here and visit us. And actually, that's part of the reason why we're doing this today. So thanks for being a part of our first ever live broadcast.
Definitely, this is cool. People from all over watching this.
Yeah,
thing.
it is. You feel pretty excited beyond that? You feel
Yeah.
pretty honored?
I do. I feel very honored.
First of all, before we get going, let me just tell you, we're trying to dress as good as we can today. I think there's a lot of myths out there about what it's like to work at the UW main office. I think you guys think that we wear our polos every single day. So Ryan's making sure to show that only people like me, I guess, wear our polos every day.
Right.
And then we all drive a bunch of minivans around and stuff. But, I do own a minivan too. So
Well, I mean,
yeah.
I also have a friend, past intern, Danny LaChance. He's watching this, and he would be disappointed if I showed up not wearing a tie and dressed up a little bit. So I figured I'd do that for him.
Well, that's good. I have a former UW staff member, Nick Lynch, who I know is watching this. And just so, when Nick worked here, wearing this would have been a dress-up day for Nick. So, see, I thought I was doing really well compared to what I came in under. But anyway, we're glad you guys are able to check this out today. And we wouldn't do something like this unless we were pretty excited, really about
Right.
what we're doing and what God's doing here at UW. And part of UW's part of the problem with the way we do ministry is that we are here in Colorado Springs, and everybody it seems like we do ministry with is from all over the place,
Definitely.
coast to coast, all over the world. So we always are striving to find any way we can to have community, to find ways to keep us all connected. And, because of technology, we're able to do that a lot of times. So we love doing all the videos and things. We just thought it'd be really fun to do something live and to announce something that we're really excited about, of really where our ministry is headed and doing that. And real quick, too, we want to just kind of have some fun talking about some of the things we've been working on. I think a lot of times, everybody always wonders, how does it take so long? It takes 9 months, really, to do 9 weeks of the summer. So the second camps ended this past summer, the fall of 2011, we're right back at it. We were going full speed, getting everything ready for this coming summer. So since for those of you that are watching, you're going to get a couple fun things right away. In fact, Ryan's going to hold up some of these. Some of you have seen these. Congratulations to some of you who have won shirts this morning, following us on Twitter and on Facebook. Beyond the Gold, you guys are seeing the promo shirts that are getting ready to go out, and there's going to be more chances for you guys to win those. And you can see the first look. These are hot off the press. Here's our camp T-shirt for this year. Beyond the Gold,
pretty impressive
we're going
right
with
there.
a green and crazy, a little gold this year in our logo. There's the front of the shirt. I know everybody's always so curious of what they look like. And then the back, going to hold that side there for me.
Yeah.
Ryan, oh, there we go. Very Olympic style, but we're not allowed to say that because the
Is it bad?
copyright
This is the
stuff.
first time I'm actually looking at these.
This is awful.
But these things are pretty awesome.
No, I just picked this one up yesterday. So they are printing these like crazy. We will do somewhere around
That's awesome.
16,000 of these shirts
Not
all
just
over
a couple.
the place.
Just a couple of them, 16,000.
Just a couple of them and doing that. So anyway, those are hot off the press. Beyond the Gold 2012. We are in January. 2012 just rolled around. And we're coming off the last 3 months in here, really starting to do a lot of the prep work. But like I said, we always have a lot of fun. So I want to mention a few things we were doing in the last few months. A lot of you are involved in a lot of the different community things that we do. But I think most of you that know Ryan and I would know we're both pretty passionate about fantasy football. So
little bit.
I think we have some dues we need to get out.
Yeah,
real quick.
I mean, especially Farley. First off,
Farley Judy has been with us for quite a number of years now.
quite a few years now, and fantasy football is definitely one of the things I look forward to doing. I didn't even make the playoffs this year.
I didn't either.
It's terrible. But Farley won back to back.
Yeah, first time ever.
First two-time champion we have. So,
yeah, he won it last year. That's hard to do. We have a 14-team league, so thanks to all you guys that played in that this year. We also did our annual NFL Pick'ems. This is our largest year of it. We had like over 65 or 70 people weekly putting in their NFL picks, and that just ended last week, obviously, with regular season. So a big congratulations to Jeannie Lind of Rib Lake, Wisconsin.
Rib Lake.
She was studying all her NFL stats out there. She walked away, won it on the last week of the season with our overall prize, and her prize will be up on the website actually tomorrow. So check back in on our intern website to see what her grand prize was for that. And then finally, we had our second annual Survivor.
Oh, I'm terrible at that.
Yeah, Survivor, where you had to pick one winner each week, and our 2011 champ was Amanda Ryder from Liberty University. Congratulations.
Representing Liberty.
She
Nicely
is.
done, Amanda.
We do have a lot of Liberty folk here, so good job on that, Amanda. Finally, when we moved into December, we did our annual UW Pride on 9, and I just want to thank everybody who is involved with that. Ryan, you're our best Pride on 9 person on December 9th.
Well, I think my thing is everybody gets so dressed up and looks awesome. You send all the pictures and stuff in. You get them online. I figure somebody has to be like the mature adult out of everybody here on staff, and so that's what I do. I just come in wearing a polo or a t-shirt
Not
or something,
long sleeve or something. UW Pride of 9 obviously was a blast again this year. It's one of those days when it's really more than just let's put some pictures on Facebook of us all wearing our UW gear.
Right.
It's just a moment. We're about 4 months removed from the summer. By the time that rolls around, I know a lot of the college students who are part of our summer ministry, they're coming into finals week, and it's just a day that we've always enjoyed doing here because it gives us a chance just to remember for a day, to celebrate. Right. It should be something you're proud of.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know you're pretty passionate about evangelism.
Right.
And that's really what happened over the summer.
Right. I mean, I think that's what draws all of us together a little bit, is seeing those kids' faces when they come to Christ, and I think that is what UW really is, and it's pretty cool, and that's definitely the thing that you remember the most, at least for me, on Pride on 9 when I think back. So
yeah, and I think that's really why we do it. It's just to take a chance for us all to have fun in community, but really to remember that God allowed us to be a part of something pretty special. It doesn't matter who you are. I mean, you could have been a camper this past summer. You could have been a church volunteer. You could have been a host home. You could have been one of our interns, or any of those people in between along the way that somehow was a part of our summer ministry, that somehow touched a piece of what we did. And if you touched any of it, you're really touching eternity, because that's the end result of why we do everything we do, is to really share the gospel with kids through a relevant way, which we love here in sports to do that. So we're coming off Pride on 9. We had a blast doing that. Great job to everybody who sent your pictures in. We saw a ton of people that were doing that day. And it's really kind of been the catalyst of what we really want to share with you about today. We had a couple fun videos that you guys had seen probably going up to promote our UW Pride on 9. And then we put one up a couple weeks ago that might have actually not made a lot of sense to you, and you might have wondered what it was, because we said it's the new UW Pride on 9. So if you didn't get a chance to check out that video real quick, here's a quick look at it.
Inspired in Guatemala, trained in Costa Rica, partnered with in Brazil, equipped in South Africa. Each represents kids in their communities. Each kid represents the opportunity of a changed life for eternity. The new UW Pride on 9. Time to take the pride worldwide.
So what you saw there was a little bit of a teaser almost of kind of something we've been thinking about here for a long time. We love what we do on UW Pride on 9, and the history of that has always been, like we said earlier, just to celebrate what God's doing. I think when people think of UW, for the most part, they think of what we all started off as. I mean, Ryan, same way, back in 2004 as an intern, going out, doing the camps, and celebrating that. And the majority of people watching this today that's how they were involved, and that's how they know of our ministry, is through that. Well, what we're going to share with you today is kind of maybe what some of you might not know has been going on at the same time, and Ryan's been very involved in that. So while we've been running camps, and while we've been all over the United States, and all you interns and coaches have been a part, we've had a lot of other things starting to take shape to a place that has led us to today that we're really excited about. So Ryan's going to share with you a little bit of that history and that journey to catch you up with where we are here.
I think the cool thing is that, like, when you think of Pride on 9, a lot of times it's the interns that we have that get involved in it, but people overseas, and what I focus on is the international training side of things, and the leaders that we work with overseas. They got a lot of UW pride too. I think of one guy in particular, a guy named Pastor Charles, and a lot of the interns, even the churches, will be able to connect with us a little bit. He's found us online.
And he's in Kenya.
He's in Kenya. He finds us online, and he sends like a little contact form saying, "Hey, sports ministry might be something that my church could do here in Kenya. We don't have a lot of it going on right now. Can you send me some information?" And at that point, we at the international department, the only time we ever went to a country was when a church that we had worked with in the past would say, "Hey, we want to go over there and do a mission trip." And so I tell him, I was like, I don't know the timing. We didn't specifically have a church then. And so I was like, "Hey, let's just pray, man. Let's pray, and we get a church." And so I talked with him about 6 months, and then a church out in Virginia, Fairfax Circle Baptist. I know a bunch of them are tuning in today.
Shout out to Fairfax.
So definitely, they come to me, and they're talking about how they've done stuff in Kenya already, and they're looking to going back. And so I get a hold of Pastor Charles, which is what he was at the time, and go out there and visit him, and he looks at me, and the first time he sees me, the first thing he says was, "I actually didn't think you were ever going to make it." Yeah. And so it's pretty cool how God works in that way. And just starting from that first meeting, and then we went back a couple months later in August with Fairfax, and we were able to do a training with him and about 400 other pastors over there. Right. And he got trained on how to do the sports camps. And then for the next year at least I kept hearing reports back about sports camps that he was doing after he went to the training, and how many kids and people's lives. And I think the thing that really amazed me was that, our passion is evangelism here at the ministry.
Right.
And that's what we want to show people when we go overseas, and that's the passion we want them to catch on to. And immediately, man, as soon as when we did that first camp with him and he saw people coming to Christ,
Right.
I mean, this guy was just lighting up. I mean, this
Right.
guy's smile never stopped.
Yeah.
And it was just awesome just knowing that he went out that next year and started doing camps after camps. I mean, a lot, not just one in a year. I mean, he was doing a bunch of them. And then he started telling me, and that's kind of what we're going to be going into a little bit more today. He started telling me, hey, why can't I, now that I'm here, why can't I've received the training, go out and train some other people?
Right.
So I'm thinking, well, we didn't have that set up yet. And we're thinking, man, that's a great idea. So the next time we went back, once again with the same church, he actually set up the training that we were going to do, and he helped be a part of the training with our team, which is pretty awesome. He's up there training other Kenyans how to use sports for evangelism. He's
Right.
up there doing that. And then now he's to the point now where he doesn't even need our team to come over. He's ready to go out and train people himself. And that's just one story. We got guys like that in 10 of the 15 of the different countries that we've been to that are ready to go out and do the same thing
Right.
because of the pride that they have in UW and in evangelism.
And I
So,
think what you're hearing is, okay, probably everybody remembers that first time when we gave a gospel presentation. Either if you were one of our summer staff when you presented it, if you were one of the church volunteers who were working with the kids or did your testimony in your small group time, or any of those, if you're a parent of a camper, remember hearing about it when your kid came home. I mean, the smile he's talking about on Pastor Charles's face, it's that light bulb moment. It's when we all get it. I remember mine, it was in 2002, and it just clicked, and I never forget that moment, the first time you can see the whole thing come together. And I think that's why we really are genuinely excited about this. UW, one of our unique things about us is the fact that we have materials, we have curriculum,
Right.
we have tools to give people. And I think that was when Tim and Al really figured it out years back, was that if they don't have to physically be everywhere to do it themselves, if there's
Right.
a way to write this stuff down, to train people effectively how to use, that's what we're about here. We're about effective sports ministry, not
Right.
just doing it to do it and have a lot of fun stuff out there. If we can figure out a way to get it all written out and give materials away, all of a sudden, the chance of more kids coming to Christ, the chance of more people to hear about Christ for the first time maybe even became a reality to us.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, what we're taking now and what Ryan's explaining is that we're starting to see a connection between the exact same thing that we do here in the United States and what's actually happening overseas.
Right, I mean, I think that's the cool thing. The thing that the interns and the families and the churches are seeing, those are the same things that are being done in other countries.
Right.
A slightly different way, of course, because they're going to alter things a little bit to fit the culture. But it's
Right.
just they're catching that same passion, that same vision.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
For those of you that have ever been to Oklahoma City and been a part of our training week, I don't think there's anything like it in our ministry. I mean, the energy level of that week and what's happening there is so dynamic and so exciting that that's what the new Pride on 9 is about. And we've been joking about it, why just December? Why just in Oklahoma City? Is what we're doing in Oklahoma City and training our teams and going out and doing camps all over the United States, and we see it working effectively, is that something that's even realistically could start to happen the more of these types of stories that we hear, where these guys are all of a sudden going to just say, hey, we can do that in Costa Rica, we can do that in Malawi, we can do that in Spain,
Right.
all these different places. And we think the answer is yes. So that's what the new UW Pride on 9 is about.
Right.
We're so excited to launch it. Monday is January 9th. We're going to be launching the new UW Pride on 9, and it's going to start this January 9th, this coming Monday, and run forever on the 9th of every month. And there's basically a couple things we're looking to do. So here's kind of what we're looking for the new UW Pride on 9.
Right. So yeah, there's the two main parts. The first one being, and anytime you start something new like this, I mean, this is huge, absolutely huge, and we understand this at the ministry and those that work in churches, and that's the idea of prayer.
Right.
It really is a prayer movement. To the point where praying on that, I mean, obviously we want prayer for the ministry and what's going on all the time.
Right.
But specifically when that 9th comes around, excuse me, and not just the 9th, but 9 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock at night, whenever that 9 number comes around, just specifically praying for the pastors, the leaders, the people that are going to be out doing these camps, praying specifically for UW
Right.
and spreading that passion through the idea of prayer. I think it would be absolutely
We've always joked here, like the two things we do well is we make notebooks, which we do really well, and we pray. That's been just a hallmark of who UW is. And we're really asking that you do take that, put it on your calendar every month. put on the 9th of every month, just specifically that day, remember to be praying for UW. And there's going to be more ways that you can pray specifically. You can get more info on that later, of ways that we're going to give you some specific things that are happening that you can be praying for, upcoming trips, trainings that we're doing, these kind of things. But that's a huge piece of what we want to do. 9 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock at night. We're pretty much around the world at this point with people we have influence on.
I mean, that's the cool thing. I mean, there's going to be prayer going on all the time during the day, even if it's right at 9 o'clock, every single person, because of how spread out we are.
So that's our first huge piece, is we want you guys to really just mark on your calendar, UW Pride on 9, every 9th of the month. Let's pray for UW corporately as a whole group doing that. And I think that alone in itself would be an amazing thing that we would love to have here at UW. The second piece of it is kind of this next phase of how do you tie in all of us here who maybe can't get overseas all the time to do this? How do we become a part of what's happening over there? And we've been doing a kind of reunion groups around the country, and they're called the Huddle. And so we'll have more information on those too. You guys can always, if we're in your area, we do these big get-togethers, and they're called the Huddle. I was down in Southern California, myself and Janae Blay and Josh Zablosky from here at the office, and we were just kind of sharing a little bit. And we were sitting there, and we had 27 past summer staff sitting there with us that night. And as I looked at those 27, it was crazy for me to think about, because 27 people, I mean, it's a nice little number, but if you actually counted the number of people that those 27 have had influence on through our ministry, the number of kids that have heard the gospel through those 27 people, it was staggering. But then the next level, that's direct. I mean, they were there. They heard about it. They gave the gospel. But how many more could we all have impact on, whether we're going to Kenya with you or not, or whether we're going to another country or not? And I think that's where this whole idea, as Tim started to come up with it and he started sharing it with the rest of us as the staff, it started to make sense to us, is that there is a way for all of us to help this thing going, to do more of these trainings, to have Pastor Charles and these type of guys be able to train more people, for our teams to be able to head overseas and have all these pastors come in. And there's pastors all over the world, and the time is right now. I mean, people are saying, we want this training. I mean,
so many.
Just recently, you guys have had just a lot of contact on those. That we're not going to be able to do this unless we get, as a corporate UW community, which we love the community, is this all to come together and do it. And so the question is, how can UW people play a role overseas? We can pray, which we just talked about, and then we can help fund what we're doing. And I said, well, the problem, with this whole thing is that a lot of the people that are in the real tight UW community, a lot of them are college students or just out of college, and we don't have a lot of money. So how do we have a fun way to get us all involved where we all hold a piece of it? And so that's when the whole number 9 came back into play. So the second piece of UW Pride 9 is this. We've been working really hard the last couple months and developing some stuff on our website, and it'll launch this Monday as well. On Monday, you'll be able to go on our website, and there'll be a link on the right-hand side of the page called UW Pride 9. If you click that, what it is a chance for you to set up a recurring payment. So it's $9 a month. It's kind of cool. So $9 a month comes out of your account on the 9th of each month. And that $9, each time the $9 comes out, you're basically sponsoring, if you will, it's almost like a passion style, a pastor overseas to be able to come to one of our trainings. What happens at one of these trainings, right? I mean, I think it's really cool for these guys to hear. You give $9, you're helping a pastor get trained. What actually is he getting when he comes?
It's amazing how much goes into, what you can get for $9 overseas. This guy is coming, and he's staying with whoever's doing the training for 3 days. The food's there. The materials are there, and during those 3 days, this is just packed full of stuff. They get a chance to do a 3-day camp, so they get to see actually how the sports idea works in evangelism. And then there's also time in there for the training part of it, where they go through this training, the same training that Pastor Charles went through, that will enable them, as soon as they're done with that training, to be able to go out and do their own camps. So they're getting all of that. They're getting their food, their lodging, their materials, all that for $9 to come in. And these guys go out, and when they go out and they do a camp, the average camp that we have, these guys go out and do is another 100 people. So for $9 is essentially, if these guys only go out and do one camp, is 100 people, 100 kids, 100 young adults, whoever they choose to work with, hearing the gospel. And that's pretty amazing.
And I think that's pretty exciting, because then each one of us is playing an active role in that. And we think it's something simple enough that everybody can get involved with. It's going to be really easy. So what's going to happen on Monday is you go on, and we're just asking everybody, really pray for this over the weekend. Think about it. And I think it's an easy way for everybody to touch base with what's happening on our international side of things here at UW. You go online, there'll be a link. You click on that link on Monday. It'll take you to a page, and you just set it up real simply with your credit card or debit card or whatever, and it just automatically start taking it out on the 9th of each month. And then you'll start to receive all kinds of updates just tons of junk mail and spam emails. I'm just kidding. But you will receive some information just on what's happening and who these pastors are that are being trained. And we're actually going to start building some momentum of these stories all the way into when we launch our Oklahoma City training, in a few months here in June. So you can really be able to hear some of the specific stories of guys just like Pastor Charles who have been affected by the fact that they've been given these materials. And I know I love when when we get to Oklahoma City, one of my favorite moments when we give the interns their little bag of stuff, and you start seeing them open it, and everything's there, the Bible curriculum and the music and the sports flashes and all these pieces that we work so hard to develop, all leading us to a point, building off each other, that hopefully we get to a point where we can effectively communicate the gospel. And I think that really is the heartbeat of who we all are here. And believe us, we're not trying to just sell something right now. That's not UW style. It never has been. That's not what we're about. We've always just been about effective ministry, any way we can get it, and any way that we can get it out there to the most people. And we really feel like this is an effective way, the new UW Pride on 9. So really be asking you guys to be thinking and praying about this. It's really exciting as we launch. Be looking for a lot more information on it. But we wanted to just kind of share it live today. Sure. Just to kind of give you just a little taste of how excited we are about it, and how if we can get our whole community of people that we've developed over these last 15 years really behind it, the doors will open internationally for us to be able to do things we never probably thought was possible.
Definitely. I mean, like the desire of these people is there. Now that, like you said, that door just needs to be opened, and this could be a great tool for that. And I'm definitely excited about it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to see what could happen over this next year, specifically through this.
So anyway, thanks you guys for just tuning in today. I know it's Friday afternoon, and I'm sure you guys are all missing your lunch break and whatever. But basically, we want to just encourage you guys to keep supporting UW in whatever way you can. If you love our ministry, support us through your prayer. That's a huge piece of who we are. Pray about being a part of the UW Pride on 9 funding movement, which helped train these international pastors that are coming from all over the world to get the same materials, the same equipment that we do here in the United States. And corporately, then, our prayer is just going to be that God will bless that in a way that is in His desire, not in ours, not in our own timing, but it's something that God has His hand on, and that when we get to heaven one day, there'll just be a huge celebration of just the fact that God allowed us to be a part of something like this, that we honestly have no right to be a part of, and we don't deserve that joy and that honor, honestly, to be able to share the best truth you could ever share with somebody, and to be able to do that and to have the opportunity to let that spread around the world through something we think is a really effective tool of sports is very exciting.
Definitely. So. Yeah, definitely excited about it. And just seeing everybody get involved, I think that's the coolest thing. It's all of us have an opportunity to be a part of this. And so I'm just looking forward to seeing what will happen. Cool. All right. Thank you guys. And hopefully in the near future, we'll do another one of these in a few months and maybe give you an update of how everything's going and some of our trainings that we have planned in the next few months overseas. So thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you guys later.